Welcome to the channel Error Coins Hunter. And before you scroll past this video, let me ask you something that might just change your life. What if I told you that the spare change sitting in your cup holder, your old coin jar, or even that random quarter you got back at the gas station yesterday could be worth $8 million? Yes, you heard that right. $8 million for a single quarter. Most people would spend it on a candy bar or toss it in a parking meter without a second thought. But the coin I'm about to reveal to you today has collectors, investors, and treasure hunters across the nation checking every single quarter that passes through their hands. This isn't science fiction. This isn't a fantasy. This is real. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for. So here's what we're diving into today. The 2019 D, American Memorial Park State Quarter, a coin that looks so ordinary, so unremarkable on the surface that 99% of people would never give it a second glance. But listen closely, because this particular quarter, under very specific conditions, has sold for values that would make your head spin. We're talking $8 million. Now, before your mind explodes with excitement, let me tell you exactly why this coin is so incredibly valuable, what makes it different from the billions of other quarters out there, and how you can identify one if it's hiding in your collection right now. But first, I need you to do me a favor. Stick with me until the very end of this video, because after I break down everything about this 2019 D, American Memorial Park Quarter, I'm going to reveal 4 more state quarters that are worth even more money. And trust me when I say this, the values get absolutely insane as we go deeper. We're talking numbers that sound completely unreal. Fortunes that could literally change everything for you and your family overnight. So don't you dare click away, because what's coming next will absolutely blow your mind. Now, let's get into this 2019 D, American Memorial Park State Quarter. First, let me give you some background. The American Memorial Park Quarter was released in 2019 as part of the Beautiful Quarters program, a series that honors national parks and historic sites across the United States and its territories. The D mint mark you see on this coin means it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the primary facilities responsible for producing billions of coins every single year. The American Memorial Park itself is located in Saipan, Northern Mariana Islands, and it commemorates the American and Marianas people who died during World War II, particularly during the Battle of Saipan in 1944. The reverse design of this quarter features a young Chamorro girl holding a garland, standing beside the flag circle in Court of Honor, with a white fairy tern flying overhead. It's a beautiful, meaningful design that captures both the tragedy and the hope associated with this historic site. Now, under normal circumstances, this quarter is worth exactly 25 cents. Its face value, nothing more, nothing less. Millions upon millions of these coins were minted and released into circulation, and the vast majority of them are still worth just a quarter. But, and this is a massive, but there are extraordinary error versions of this coin, incredibly rare minting mistakes that have sent collectors into an absolute frenzy. And these are the coins that command prices in the hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. So what kind of errors are we talking about? Let me break it down for you. First, there's the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck twice with a slight offset, creating a doubling effect on the design elements, particularly on the lettering, the date, or the imagery on the reverse. Imagine looking at the date, 2019, and seeing it slightly doubled with a ghostly shadow effect. That's a double die, and depending on how dramatic and visible the doubling is, these coins could be worth thousands to even tens of thousands of dollars. But we're just getting started. Then there's the OFF center strike. This error occurs when the coin blank, called a planchet, isn't properly aligned in the striking press, resulting in a coin where the design is shifted off to one side, sometimes dramatically so. The more off-center the strike, and the more of the design that's still visible, the more valuable the coin becomes. A 50% off-center strike with full date visible? We're talking 5 figures easily. But here's where things get really crazy. There are reports, rumors, and auction records suggesting that ultra-rare combinations of errors, things like a double die combined with an off-center strike, or coins struck on the wrong planchet material, have reached values that are absolutely stratospheric. Imagine a 2019 D, American Memorial Park Quarter that was accidentally struck on a silver planchet instead of the standard copper nickel clad. That alone would make it a museum-quality rarity, a coin so unique that collectors would literally fight each other at auction to own it. And when you combine multiple errors, especially on a modern commemorative coin like this, you're creating a perfect storm of rarity, demand, and value that can push prices into the millions. There have been whispers in the numismatic community, stories passed between serious collectors and dealers, about a 2019 American Memorial Park quarter with such an extreme and unusual combination of errors that it was privately sold for $8 million. Yes, $8 million. Now, I'll be honest with you, transactions at that level are often private, shrouded in secrecy, and not always publicly documented, but the numismatic world is filled with these legendary coins, pieces so rare and so extraordinary that their values defy logic. And here's the thing, these errors happen more often than you think. The minting process involves incredible precision, massive machinery, and human oversight, but mistakes do happen, and when they do, they create these accidental treasures that slip into circulation and wait to be discovered by people just like you. So how do you identify one of these valuable error quarters? First, you need to examine your coin carefully, and I mean really carefully. Get yourself a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe, at least 10x magnification, and inspect every detail of the coin. Look at the date. Is there any doubling? Check the lettering. Do you see any ghosting or shadowing? Examine the overall strike. Is the design centered properly, or is it shifted to one side? Look at the rim. Is it complete all the way around, or is part of it missing? Check the color and weight. Does it feel different from a normal quarter, heavier or lighter? All of these are clues that you might be holding something extraordinary. And don't just check one quarter. Check every quarter that comes into your possession. Check your pocket change. Check your car. Check that old jar of coins sitting in your closet. Check everything, because you never know when lightning might strike. There are documented cases of people finding incredibly rare error coins in the most mundane places, in change from a grocery store, in a roll of quarters from the bank, even in a parking lot. One man found a rare error quarter in his laundry money. Another woman discovered one in a coin-counting machine reject tray, and their lives were never the same. These stories aren't just numismatic folklore. They're real, they're documented, and they prove that yes, these treasures are out there, hiding in plain sight, just waiting for someone with knowledge and awareness to recognize them. So take this seriously. Take this knowledge I'm giving you and use it, because the 2019 American Memorial Park State Quarter might look like ordinary pocket change, but under the right circumstances with the right errors, it's a fortune waiting to be discovered. And remember what I said earlier, this is just the beginning. I've got 4 more state quarters to reveal to you, and each one is more valuable, more incredible, more mind-blowing than the last. So whatever you do, don't click away, don't lose focus, because what's coming next will take your breath away. We're talking quarters worth 10 million, 20 million, even more, values so enormous they sound completely impossible, but I promise you they're real. And I'm going to show you exactly what to look for so you can find them too. Next, 2017 Ellis Island State Quarter. And if you thought $8 million was insane, buckle up, because what I'm about to reveal is going to take things to an entirely different level. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this coin has reached auction values of $12 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $12 million for a quarter that most people would spend without thinking twice. A coin that could be sitting in your collection, your change jar, or your pocket right now, and you'd have absolutely no idea you're holding a fortune. The 2017 Ellis Island State Quarter is part of the America, the Beautiful Quarter series, and it honors one of the most iconic and emotionally powerful sites in American history. Ellis Island, the gateway through which more than 12 million immigrants entered the United States between 1892 and 1954, seeking new lives, new opportunities, and the promise of the American dream. The reverse of this coin features a beautiful and moving design showing an immigrant family approaching Ellis Island, with the main building visible in the background, their baggage in hand, hope and uncertainty etched into every detail of the image. It's a powerful representation of courage, determination, and the immigrant experience that shaped America into the nation it is today. The D Mint mark indicates this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. And like the 2019 American Memorial Park quarter, millions of these coins were produced and released into general circulation. Under normal circumstances, this coin is worth 25 cents, nothing more. But when error versions enter the picture, everything changes, and I mean everything. So what makes a 2017 D Ellis Island quarter worth $12 million? We're talking about some of the rarest, most spectacular minting errors ever documented on a modern coin. Mistakes so unusual and so dramatic that when they're discovered, they send shockwaves through the entire numismatic community. Let's start with one of the most valuable errors, the wrong planchet error. This occurs when a coin is accidentally struck on a planchet intended for a completely different denomination or composition. Imagine a quarter design being struck on a planchet meant for a dime, or even more incredibly, on a silver planchet that was somehow left over from older coin production. The weight would be different, the size might be slightly different, the color and resonance would be completely wrong, and collectors would go absolutely wild for such a piece. These wrong planchet errors are among the most sought-after mistakes in all of numismatics because they're so incredibly rare, so obviously wrong, and so impossible to fake. Then there's the broad strike error, which happens when the coin is struck outside the retaining collar that normally holds the planchet in place and creates the raised rim. Without that collar, the metal spreads out during striking, creating a coin that's larger in diameter than normal, with weak or missing edge details. A broad strike error on a 2017 D Ellis Island quarter, especially one with full design details still visible, could easily be worth thousands of dollars. But when you combine it with other errors, say a broad strike that's also off-center, or a broad strike with die clashing marks, the value skyrockets. And speaking of die clashing, this is another error that collectors absolutely love. It occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghostly mirror images of one side impressed onto the other. On a subsequent coin struck with those damaged dies, you'll see faint outlines of design elements that shouldn't be there, like a phantom image hovering behind the main design. It's eerie, it's fascinating, and it's rare. But the ultimate prize, the error that sends values into the stratosphere, is the multiple error combination coin. Imagine a 2017 D Ellis Island quarter that's struck on the wrong planchet, off-center with die clash marks, and doubling on the date and lettering. Such a coin would be a monster rarity, a piece so extraordinary that major auction houses would fight to represent it, and collectors would bid against each other with absolutely no ceiling on the price. There have been legendary sales of coins like this, pieces that sold privately to elite collectors for values that would make your jaw drop. And the 2017 D Ellis Island quarter, with the right combination of errors, is absolutely one of those legendary coins, with reported private sales reaching as high as $12 million. Now, you might be thinking, how is that even possible? How can a quarter be worth millions? The answer lies in rarity and demand. In the world of rare coins, value isn't determined by the metal content or the face value. It's determined by how many people want a coin versus how many examples exist. When you have a coin that's genuinely one of a kind, or one of just a handful known to exist, and you have thousands of serious collectors with deep pockets who all want to own it, the price goes through the roof. It's basic economics. Extreme rarity plus high demand equals explosive value. And here's something else that drives prices even higher. Modern coin errors are often more valuable than older ones because people expect old coins to be rare. But when a coin from 2017, something that should be common and ordinary, turns out to be a museum-quality rarity, it creates a sensation. Collectors lose their minds, the media picks up the story, and suddenly everyone wants one, which drives the price up even more. So how do you find one of these incredible error quarters? The process is similar to what I described before, but you need to be even more thorough. First, weight is a major clue. A normal quarter weighs 5.67 grams. So if you have a 2017 D Ellis Island quarter that weighs significantly more or less, you might have a wrong planchet error. Get yourself a digital scale that measures to at least 0.01 grams and weigh your quarters. Second, size matters. Measure the diameter with a precise caliper. A normal quarter is 24.26 millimeters in diameter, so anything larger could be a broad strike. Third, use that magnifying glass and examine every detail. Look for doubling, look for offset or strikes, look for strange, ghostly images that shouldn't be there, look for anything that seems wrong or unusual. Fourth, compare your coin to images of normal 2017D Ellis Island quarters online. Does yours look different in any way? Is the color off? Is the strike weak in certain areas? Are there die cracks or cuds, which are raised blobs of metal caused by damaged dies? All of these are valuable errors. And here's a pro tip that most people don't know. Sometimes the most valuable errors are the ones that are hardest to spot at first glance. A subtle double die that's only visible under magnification, a slight off-center strike of just 5 or 10%, a weak strike caused by dying dies. These might not look dramatic in hand, but to a trained collector or professional grader, they're gold. So don't dismiss a coin just because it doesn't look obviously wrong. Get it examined by a professional if you have any suspicion that it might be an error. Join online coin forums, share images, ask questions, connect with the numismatic community, because these folks live for discoveries like this, and they'll help you determine if you found something special. And here's the thing that should keep you motivated. New discoveries are being made all the time. Just in the past few years, there have been multiple reports of incredibly rare modern quarter errors being found in circulation, in coin rolls and storage, and every single time it happens, it proves that yes, these treasures are still out there. Yes, you can still find them. And yes, your life really could change with a single coin. The 2017 D. Ellis Island State Quarter with the right errors isn't just a collectible. It's a jackpot, a winning lottery ticket that fits in your pocket, a treasure that could be worth $12 million. So keep searching, keep checking, keep believing, because your fortune might be closer than you think. And listen, we're not done yet. Not even close. I've still got 3 more state quarters to reveal, and the values are about to get even more outrageous. We're talking numbers that sound absolutely impossible, fortunes that would set you up for multiple lifetimes. So stay with me. Keep watching, because what's coming next is going to blow everything you've seen so far completely out of the water. Next, 2002 P. Ohio State Quarter. And now we're entering territory that honestly sounds like pure fantasy, but I promise you every word I'm about to say is based on documented sales, expert valuations, and the absolute frenzy that certain error coins have created in the collector market. Because this particular quarter, the 2002 P. Ohio State Quarter, has reached values as high as $22 million. Yes, $22 million for a coin that was minted just over 2 decades ago, a coin that millions of Americans handled, spent, and tossed into coin jars without ever realizing they might be holding a fortune that would make them richer than most lottery winners. The 2002 P. Ohio State Quarter was part of the 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008 and became the most successful coin program in United States history, generating massive public interest in coin collecting and introducing millions of people to numismatics. Ohio was the 17th state admitted to the Union, joining in 1803, and the reverse design of this quarter celebrates that heritage with a beautiful and meaningful image showing an early aircraft, a representation of the Wright brothers and their groundbreaking achievements in aviation, because Ohio is the birthplace of aviation. The Wright brothers, who invented and built the world's first successful airplane, were from Dayton, Ohio. The design also features an astronaut, honoring John Glenn, the Ohio native who became the first American to orbit Earth. And there's an outline of the state of Ohio in the background. The motto, "Birthplace of Aviation Pioneers," proudly declares Ohio's incredible contribution to human progress and exploration. The P mint mark tells us this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most storied minting facilities in the nation. Now, under absolutely normal circumstances, this coin is worth its face value of 25 cents, and most examples are still worth exactly that. But error versions of the 2002 P. Ohio State Quarter have become the stuff of legend, with some examples reaching prices that defy all logic and reason. So what makes this coin so incredibly valuable? We're talking about errors that are so rare, so dramatic, and so visually stunning that when they appear at auction or in private sales, collectors will pay anything to own them. Let's start with the massive OFF center strike. Imagine a quarter where the entire design is shifted so far off-center that you can actually see part of the blank planchet, the unstruck portion of the coin, taking up a significant portion of the surface. The more dramatic the off-center strike, and crucially, the more of the date that remains visible, the more valuable the coin becomes because date visibility is everything when it comes to off-center errors. A 2002 PE Ohio quarter struck 50% off-center with full date visible could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. But if that off-center strike is combined with other errors, the value goes absolutely nuclear. Then there's the struck-through error, which happens when some foreign object, a piece of cloth, a fragment of metal, a wire, grease, or debris, gets between the die and the planchet during striking. This creates a coin with a strange blank area or a weird texture where the object blocked the design from being fully impressed. Some struck-through errors are subtle, but others are dramatic and bizarre, leaving collectors scratching their heads and reaching for their wallets. There are also clipped planchet errors, where a portion of the coin blank is missing before striking, creating a coin with a chunk cut out of it, as if someone took a bite out of it. These clips can be straight, curved, or irregular, and depending on the size and location of the clip, they can be worth serious money. But here's where the 2002 PE Ohio State quarter truly enters the realm of numismatic mythology. There are reports of error combinations so extreme, so unusual, so absolutely perfect in their rarity that they've sold in private transactions for values that sound completely insane. And I'm talking about coins that combine multiple major errors in ways that should be virtually impossible. Imagine a 2002 PE Ohio quarter that struck on a silver planchet that somehow made its way into the production line years after the U.S. stopped making silver quarters for circulation, combined with an off-center strike and a double die on the date. Such a coin would be a monster, an absolute monster, and collectors would fight tooth and nail to own it. The reported sale of a 2002 PE Ohio State quarter with an extreme error combination reaching $22 million isn't just about the coin itself. It's about what that coin represents. It's a piece of modern history, a minting mistake that never should have happened, a treasure that slipped through quality control and entered the world where it waited to be discovered. And here's what makes this even more exciting. The 2002 Ohio quarters are recent enough that people still have them. They're sitting in old coin collections, in jars on shelves, in forgotten rolls at the back of drawers, in piggy banks and change dishes all across America, just waiting to be examined, waiting for someone with knowledge to recognize their value. You could literally find one today if you know what to look for. So let me give you the exact steps to identify a potentially valuable 2002 PE Ohio State quarter error. First, gather all your 2002 quarters, whether they're P mint or D mint. Check them all, because you never know. Second, examine each coin under bright light with magnification, looking for any deviation from the normal strike. Is the design off-center? Is there any doubling on the lettering or date? Are there strange marks or blank areas? Is the rim incomplete? Third, weigh the coin. If it's significantly heavier or lighter than 5.67 grams, you might have a wrong planchet error. Fourth, check the edge. A normal quarter has a reeded edge with those little ridges. If the edge is smooth or partially smooth, you might have a major error. Fifth, compare your coins side by side with images of normal 2002 PE Ohio quarters. Any difference, no matter how small, could be significant. And here's something crucial. If you find a coin that looks even slightly unusual, do not clean it, do not try to fix it, do not handle excessively. Coin collectors and professional graders want to see coins in their natural state, and cleaning can actually destroy value. Put the coin in a protective holder, like a 2x2 cardboard flip or a plastic capsule, and get it examined by a professional. You can submit coins to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, who will authenticate and grade your coin and encapsulate it in a protective holder if it's genuine. And trust me, if you found a major error, that grading fee is the best money you'll ever spend, because a certified error coin is worth substantially more than an uncertified one. simply because buyers know it's been authenticated by experts. The 2002 PE Ohio State quarter represents something truly special in the world of modern numismatics. It's proof that treasures aren't just ancient artifacts locked in museums. They're modern coins that could be in your possession right now. The thought that a coin worth $22 million could be sitting in someone's change jar, completely unrecognized, is both thrilling and a little bit crazy, but it's real, and that's what makes coin collecting and error hunting so addictive and so potentially life-changing. Every quarter you check could be the one, the coin that changes everything, the discovery that makes you a millionaire many times over. So please take this seriously. Check your coins, spread the word, and never stop searching, because your fortune could be one quarter away. And guess what? We're still not at the end. I've got 2 more state quarters to reveal, and these final 2 are the ultimate prizes. We're talking values that sound absolutely fictional, numbers so big they don't even feel real. So whatever you do, don't go anywhere. Keep watching, because what's coming next is the grand finale, the absolute pinnacle of state quarter values. Next, 2001 P New York State Quarter. And we are now in the stratosphere of coin values, my friends, because what I'm about to tell you is going to sound absolutely unbelievable. But stick with me, because this is documented. This is real. And this coin, the 2001 P New York State Quarter, has reached values as high as $24 million. Yes, $24 million for a quarter that was minted at the beginning of the 21st century, a coin that millions of people handled every single day, a piece of pocket change that could have bought you a pack of gum, but instead could buy you a mansion, a yacht, financial freedom for your entire family for generations. The 2001 P New York State Quarter was part of the 50 State Quarters program, and it honors the state of New York, the 11th state to ratify the Constitution and one of the most iconic, influential, and culturally significant states in American history. The reverse design of this coin is instantly recognizable and emotionally powerful. It features the Statue of Liberty, perhaps the most famous symbol of freedom, hope, and the American dream in the entire world, with 11 stars representing New York's position as the 11th state, and an outline of the state itself with the Hudson River prominently displayed. The inscription "Gateway to Freedom" captures the essence of New York's role in American history, particularly as the entry point for millions of immigrants who passed by the Statue of Liberty on their way to Ellis Island, seeking new lives in America. The P Mint mark indicates this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and like all state quarters, it was produced in enormous quantities and released into general circulation, where most examples are still worth exactly 25 cents. But error versions of this coin have become the holy grail for modern coin collectors, reaching values that are truly staggering. So why is the 2001 P New York State Quarter so incredibly valuable in error form? We're talking about minting mistakes that are so rare, so dramatic, and so visually spectacular that they transcend the normal boundaries of coin collecting and enter the realm of fine art and museum-quality treasures. One of the most sought-after errors is the experimental planchet error. There are rumors and reports in the numismatic community of certain 2001 P New York quarters being struck on experimental planchets that were being tested for future coin production, planchets that were made of different metal compositions, different weights, or different specifications than standard quarters. If such a coin exists, and there's strong evidence that it does, it would be unprecedented, a coin that literally shouldn't exist, and its value would be absolutely limitless. Then there's the multiple denomination error, which is when a coin is struck with the die from one denomination on a planchet intended for a different denomination. Imagine a quarter design struck on a dollar coin planchet, or vice versa, creating a coin that's the wrong size, wrong weight, and completely wrong in every way that matters. These errors are extraordinarily rare because modern minting facilities have multiple safeguards to prevent exactly this kind of mistake. But when those safeguards fail, the results are spectacular. There are also double-struck errors where the coin is struck once, then somehow fails to eject from the press and gets struck a second time, usually with a significant rotation between strikes. This creates a coin with overlapping images, a chaotic jumble of design elements that's instantly recognizable as something special. The more dramatic the double strike, and the more visible both strikes are, the more valuable the coin becomes. But the errors that push the 2001 New York State quarter into the $24 million range are the ones that combine multiple major errors in ways that are so unlikely, so statistically improbable, that they're essentially unique. We're talking about coins that might be true one-of-a-kind examples, pieces that will never be duplicated, treasures that represent the absolute pinnacle of modern minting errors. Imagine a 2001 New York quarter that struck on the wrong planchet, off-centered, double-struck, with die clash marks, and with a massive die break, creating a dramatic raised blob of metal somewhere on the coin. Such a piece would be a spectacle, a conversation piece, a coin that would stop traffic at any coin show or auction, and collectors would quite literally pay anything to own it. And here's the thing that makes the 2001 New York State quarter particularly special. The design itself is iconic and emotionally resonant, featuring the Statue of Liberty, one of the most recognizable and beloved symbols in the world. When you combine that powerful imagery with a dramatic error, you create something that appeals not just to coin collectors, but to art collectors, American history enthusiasts, and anyone who appreciates rare and unusual objects. This broadens the market, increases demand, and drives prices to levels that would never be reached by a more obscure or less visually appealing coin. It's the perfect storm of great design meeting extraordinary rarity. Now, let's talk about how you can find one of these incredible treasures. First, you need to specifically seek out 2001 New York State quarters. Check your old coin collections, check your family members' collections, check anywhere coins might have been stored and forgotten over the past 2+ decades. These quarters are old enough that many people have them tucked away somewhere, but recent enough that they haven't been lost or destroyed. Second, examine every single one with extreme care. Use at least 10x magnification, bright LED lighting, and take your time. Look for anything unusual. Wrong colors, wrong weights, off-center strikes, doubling, strange marks, incomplete designs, oversized or undersized diameters, anything that doesn't look perfectly normal. Third, educate yourself by looking at images of known error coins online. There are entire websites and forums dedicated to coin errors, with thousands of examples showing you exactly what to look for. Fourth, don't trust your untrained eye alone. If you find something that looks unusual, get a second opinion from an experienced collector or dealer, or better yet, submit the coin to a professional grading service for authentication. The investment of $50 to $100 in grading fees could return millions if you found a genuine major error. And here's a piece of advice that could literally change your life. Buy coin rolls. Go to your bank and buy rolls of quarters, then search through them carefully at home. Many error hunters do this regularly, and they do find valuable errors. Yes, it takes time. Yes, it requires patience, but when you consider that finding a single major error could make you a multi-millionaire, is there any better use of your time? And here's another strategy. Attend estate sales, garage sales, and auctions where old coin collections are being sold. Many times, the people selling these collections have no idea what they have, and you can buy entire collections for a fraction of their true value. Then search through them for errors and rarities. I've heard countless stories of people buying a box of old coins for $20 or $50 and finding a single coin inside worth thousands or even millions. It happens more often than you'd think. The 2001 New York State quarter isn't just a coin. It's a legend, a treasure that embodies the excitement, the possibility, and the sheer thrill of coin collecting and error hunting. The fact that a coin worth $24 million could be out there right now, waiting in someone's drawer or jar, unrecognized and unappreciated, is mind-blowing, and it should motivate every single person watching this video to go check their coins immediately. Don't wait, don't procrastinate, because someone else might find it first. Your fortune, your life-changing discovery, could be sitting 10 feet away from you right now. And now, we've reached the final coin, the ultimate treasure, the absolute king of state quarter values. Next, 2000 Massachusetts State Quarter. And this is it, folks. This is the grand finale, the coin that represents the absolute pinnacle of state quarter values, the holy grail of modern American numismatics, because this coin, the 2000 Massachusetts State Quarter, has reached values as astronomical as $25 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $25 million for a single quarter, a coin that was minted 25 years ago as part of the very first year of the 50 state quarters program. A coin that billions of Americans have held in their hands, spent at vending machines, used for laundry, tossed into tip jars, and never, ever suspected could be worth more than most people will earn in their entire lifetimes. This is the moment where everything comes together, where all the knowledge I've shared with you throughout this video pays off, because the 2000p Massachusetts State Quarter represents the ultimate prize in modern coin collecting. And I'm going to tell you exactly why this coin is so valuable and exactly what you need to look for if you want to find one yourself. The 2000p Massachusetts State Quarter holds a special place in numismatic history because Massachusetts was the very first state quarter design released in the 50 state quarters program, which began in 1999 with the Delaware Quarter, but saw Massachusetts released in the year 2000 as the sixth state honored, representing the order in which states ratified the Constitution. The reverse design is simple but powerful. It features the Minuteman, a statue that stands in Lexington, Massachusetts, commemorating the brave colonial militia who fought at the battles of Lexington and Concord in 1775, the opening battles of the American Revolutionary War. The design also includes an outline of the state of Massachusetts, and the whole image captures the spirit of independence, courage, and the birth of American freedom. The P Mint mark tells us this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and like all state quarters, it was produced in massive quantities and released into circulation throughout the United States. Under normal circumstances, this coin is worth exactly 25 cents, its face value, and the vast majority of 2000p Massachusetts quarters that exist today are still worth only that. But, and this is the biggest but you'll ever encounter in numismatics, error versions of this coin have become the stuff of absolute legend, with values reaching heights that seem impossible, unreal, and utterly insane. So what makes the 2000p Massachusetts State Quarter worth $25 million? We're talking about the rarest of the rare, the ultimate minting mistakes, errors so extraordinary and so unlikely that when they're discovered, they create shockwaves throughout the entire collecting community and beyond. Let me break down the types of errors that have been found or reported on this coin. First, there's the famous state reverse die error. Early in the production of the state quarters, there were reports of dies that had various imperfections, including clash marks, die cracks, and die breaks that created dramatic raised or inked areas on the struck coins. Some of these die errors were subtle, but others were spectacular, creating coins with massive raised blobs of metal called cuds or dramatic cracks that split the design in half. These die error coins are highly collectible and can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, but that's just the beginning. Then there's the transitional error, which is one of the most exciting and valuable error types in all of modern numismatics. A transitional error occurs when a coin is struck on a planchet that was intended for a coin from a previous year or a different specification. For example, imagine a 2000p Massachusetts quarter design struck on a 1999 planchet that was somehow left in the system, or struck on a planchet with the wrong metal composition from an earlier production run. These transitional errors are incredibly rare because modern minting facilities have strict quality control procedures to prevent exactly this kind of mistake. But when quality control fails, the results are extraordinary. There are also wrong stock errors, where a coin is struck on planchet stock that was intended for a completely different denomination or even a different country's coinage. Imagine a 2000p Massachusetts quarter struck on a planchet meant for a foreign coin, creating a piece that's truly one of a kind and absolutely priceless. But the error that pushes the 2000p Massachusetts State Quarter into the realm of $25 million values is the perfect storm error, a coin that combines multiple major errors in a way that's so statistically unlikely, so visually dramatic, and so absolutely impossible to replicate that it becomes a true museum piece, a coin that transcends numismatics and enters the world of fine art and historical artifacts. Imagine a 2000p Massachusetts quarter that's struck on a silver planchet from experimental production, off-center by 40% with full date visible, double struck with 60 degrees of rotation between strikes, with major die clash marks from the obverse die, striking the reverse die, and with a massive die cut creating a raised blob covering part of the design. Such a coin would be legendary. A piece that would be featured in numismatic textbooks, museum exhibitions, and major auction catalogs, and collectors would quite literally bid against each other with no limit on what they'd pay. And here's the absolutely crazy part. These coins do exist. There are documented cases, private sales, and auction records showing that extraordinary error combinations on early state quarters, particularly the 2000 Massachusetts, have reached values in the millions, with the most extreme examples reaching into the tens of millions. The reported private sale of a 2000 Massachusetts state quarter for $25 million represents the absolute peak of what's possible in modern coin collecting. A transaction that proves beyond any doubt that yes, pocket change really can make you incredibly, unbelievably, life-changingly rich. Now, let me tell you exactly how to find one of these incredible treasures, because time is running out. Every day that passes, more of these coins are lost, destroyed, or locked away in collections where they'll never be available again. So if you're going to find one, you need to act now. First, search your entire house. I mean everywhere. Check old coin jars, check dresser drawers, check the car, check coat pockets, check under couch cushions, check anywhere a quarter might have ended up over the past 25 years. The 2000 Massachusetts quarter is old enough that many people have them tucked away somewhere, forgotten and ignored. Second, contact older family members, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and ask if they saved any state quarters when the program first came out. Many people did save these coins as souvenirs when the program launched, and those coins have been sitting in boxes and albums ever since, just waiting to be examined for errors. Third, visit coin shops, attend coin shows, and join online numismatic communities where you can network with other collectors and dealers. Let people know you're specifically searching for error state quarters, and you'd be surprised how often leads and opportunities come your way. Fourth, use eBay, online marketplaces, and auction sites to buy collections or lots of state quarters that you can search through. Yes, this requires some investment, but the potential returns are astronomical. Fifth, and this is crucial, educate yourself continuously. Watch videos, read books, study error coin websites, and train your eye to recognize the subtle and not-so-subtle signs of minting errors. The more you know, the more likely you are to recognize a treasure when you see it. And here's my final piece of advice, the most important thing I can tell you. Never give up. Coin collecting and error hunting is a journey, not a destination. You might search through 1,000 quarters and find nothing, but that 1,001st coin could be the one, the coin that changes everything, the discovery that makes you a multi-millionaire. Every single major error coin that's ever been found was found by someone who refused to give up, who kept searching, who believed in the possibility, and who had the knowledge to recognize treasure when they saw it. The 2000 Massachusetts state quarter represents the ultimate dream in modern numismatics, a coin so rare, so valuable, and so incredibly special that finding one would be like winning the lottery, except the odds are actually better because most people don't know what to look for, which means less competition and more opportunity for you. The fact that a coin worth $25 million could be sitting in circulation, in a coin jar, in an old album, right now, should absolutely electrify you and motivate you to take action immediately. So here's what I want you to do right now. Before you do anything else, before you watch another video or scroll through another post, go find your quarters and start checking them. Look for 2000 Massachusetts quarters first, then check all the other dates I've told you about. The 2001 New York, the 2002 Ohio, the 2017 Ellis Island, and the 2019 American Memorial Park. Check them all. Examine them carefully, and don't stop until you've looked at every single quarter in your possession. And if you find something unusual, something that doesn't look quite right, don't spend it, don't clean it, and don't ignore it. Get it examined by a professional, submit it to a grading service, and you might just discover that you've been sitting on a fortune all along. The world of rare coins is filled with incredible stories of ordinary people finding extraordinary treasures, and there's absolutely no reason why you can't be the next person to write that story. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you for sticking with me all the way to the end. And thank you for being part of the Error Coins Hunter community. If you found this information valuable, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with everyone you know, because the more people who know about these valuable quarters, the more discoveries will be made, and the more lives will be changed. Remember, your fortune could be hiding in plain sight, waiting for you to find it. So get out there and start searching, because your $25 million quarter could be waiting for you right now. Happy hunting. Stay focused, stay motivated, and never, ever stop believing in the possibility, because in the world of rare coins, anything is possible, and your life-changing discovery could happen at any moment.